Hello! Welcome back to my channel, Callie's Kingdom. I have been in a big thriller mood lately, so I've decided to do a reading thrillers for a week. So I actually have 6 thrillers from my summer reading list. I read one of them recently. It was okay, I gave it 3 stars. But reading an okay thriller did not put me out of the thriller reading mood. So I want to read some of these other ones. So I saw online that my library has like 3 of them. So I don't know if they have them in stock though. Not in stock. You know what I mean, if they have them in the library. So I've decided to drive over to the library right now and see if they have any. I'm hoping they at least have one of them so I can read that. But if they don't, well, I checked out another book from the library called The Prodigy. So The Project, I can't read. I can read, obviously. I have a reading YouTube channel, but anyway, The Project, and I think this cover is stunning, and it has an intriguing premise. It was not originally on my summer reading list, but if I don't find anything, then I'll just start reading this book. And even if I do find them, I'll probably keep this book, even though I've had this book for like a month now and haven't read it. I keep on like almost picking it up, and then I'm like, no, I'm in the mood for something else, but I'm sure it will be good since I like the other book by this author. But anyway, let's get going. Okay, I just got done at the library and I found This Is Not the Jess Show. So this one's not a murder mystery, but it is like a weird things happening mystery about a girl in the 90s, and she starts to realize things are weird. And like, I think she sees like an iPhone or something, and like from where she is that hasn't been invented yet, and it's like, what is going on? So yeah, I just started reading it. I read like 15 pages. It's just like a setup so far. Nothing that creepy or out of the ordinary has happened yet. So I'm interested to see what's like the catalyst and how things happen. Oh wait, there was one thing. Like half the school was gone with some mysterious flu. But yeah. So, I didn't get to find any of the other books, but I did place holds on 2 books. I placed a hold on 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, which was the book I was really hoping they'd have. And then I also placed a hold on, what was it called? All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. They had another book there by her, but not that book. So I hope those 2 holds come in soon, because I really wanted to read those 2 books for this week. But I also still kept this book, which I'm probably going to read after This Is Not the Jess Show, because I'm assuming that those 2 books won't be like in the next couple of days, and I'm not sure how long this book will take me. So far, it's very like easy to understand, like big words, and it's under 300 pages, so this book shouldn't take me too long. But yeah. Okay, so I've been reading this book, and it's alright so far. It's a lot of, like, setup right now, which, I mean, happens at the beginning of books, and, like, one weird thing happened where she thinks, like, she saw, like, basically what an iPhone is, fall from her friend's bag. So she's kind of, like, and she's been hearing things, so there's kind of, like, some weird things going on, but nothing, like, big happened yet. And it's mostly just about her life so far, in, like, the 90s, all that, which is, like, I don't really like reading that much realistic fiction because I feel like it's not that interesting to me. So it's a lot of that, and I just wanted to pick up and get to like more of the thrillery like aspect. But I know they do have to do some setup, so yeah. Right now I'm just going to run some errands basically, and my mom said she also saw there's this store called Ollie's, and there were some like used or cheap books there. I don't know, so I wanted to stop by there and see if there are any books that I wanted to pick up, because I love books and I love cheap books, so yeah. Okay, update. I'm on page 126, and about like 10 pages ago, it started to pick up so much. Like, it was starting to get to a certain point where I was kind of guessing what was going on, obviously. And then like this big reveal happened, which I was not expecting it to be revealed that easily. At first when it was revealed, it felt a little too easy for the person who revealed it to just like say it when she asked him. So I felt like there should have been a little bit more pushback, and then like tell me like blah blah blah, and then it happening. But It's so good. I just sat down and read so much of it. I'm like this much of the way through, and I only started yesterday, so. And also my hold for another book. I forget what it's called, but it just came in. So tomorrow morning I'm probably going to head over and pick that up. So then once I'm done this book, I'll have that thriller to read next. This thriller I'd recommend for people who don't really like normally read thrillers because it's not like a whole murder mystery, who did it, blah blah blah. It's just like weird things are happening and there's no like murder involved. So if you don't want that, and it's also young adult, it's really easy to read. It's simple. I feel like it's towards the like lower end of YA, like probably like a little closer to middle grade, but it's not that young, you know? So I've been really enjoying it so far, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just finished This Is Not the Jess Show. It was a pretty good, enjoyable read. It was very quick. It only took me like 3 days, and that wasn't even me reading a lot each day. So it was an enjoyable book if you're looking for a quick and easy read, but it's not one that I think I'm going to remember for a while and like recommend to people. It wasn't even really that much of a thriller. Like there was kind of mysteries. I don't know what I would classify this book because it's not realistic fiction. Maybe it's a little bit dystopian? I don't know. I guess it was closest to like a thriller, but it wasn't like any other thrillers I've read before. It felt more a little bit like realistic fiction, although it wasn't that realistic, with like thrillery aspects thrown in, but I don't know. So I'm done with my first book for reading thrillers for a week. And I went to the library today because this book came in, All Your Twisted Secrets, which I'm excited to read. But then when I got there and I went to get it, they said my other book I put a hold on came in too, Five Survive. So now I have these two to read for this week. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to read next. I'm leaning more towards Five Survive because I was very excited to read this, and I also loved the other books that Holly Jackson wrote, so I think I'm going to start this book now. But, I mean, not right now. I need to leave to go to my friend's Sweet 16, but yeah, whenever I have the chance to read. Okay, I haven't updated you for a few days because I've been really busy. I had a Sweet 16 party to go to and then my graduation party. So lots of fun stuff. But because those 2 days really took away from my reading, I'm going to make this like week of reading thrillers be a little bit more than a week, but it will still all even out to a week in the end, you know, because those 2 days won't really count. But I just finished reading Five Survive by Holly Jackson. Basically read it in 2 days. I mean, those 2 days when I didn't really have a chance to read, I read 3 pages on one day and 9 on the other, but that really doesn't count. So yesterday and today I read over 200 pages. I could not put it down. Plot twist after plot twist. It was so good. This one guy was driving me crazy. All the secrets, everything, like the big plot twist got revealed, and I was like, wait a minute. I bet this happens. And then I got that part right, but everything else I didn't guess. But it was so satisfying because I love in a thriller or mystery when you can guess part of it, but there's lots of other parts that you can't guess. And it's just like, you're like, whoa, what? So highly recommend. I'm giving this to my mom right now. Literally woke up, read, stopped to eat lunch, read some more, and finished it. And now I'm moving on to the next book, All Your Twisted Secrets. So I'll update you later and see my thoughts on this. Okay, hello, it is Tuesday now, and I actually read a lot of this book. If you see, I read all of that, and I only have a little bit left. I think a little over 100 pages, yes. So this is pretty good. I think I like Five Survive better right now, but this is definitely up there. Like, at this point, maybe like 4.5. We'll see how the ending reveal is. It's called All Your Twisted Secrets. So I never heard of this book before. I think I was looking up like young adult thrillers or whatever online one time, and this was on a list and I never heard of it. So I decided to look it up and see what it was about, and it sounded really good. And it is really good. So basically, these 6 kids who, it's kind of like, it reminds me of One of Us is Lying, where they all are from a different clique. Like they're all, well, some of them are friends, but you know. But that's the only part that it reminds me of One of Us is Lying In. So there's the music prodigy, which is the main girl, Amber. There's like the queen bee, like the stoner guy, the loner, the valedictorian, and then the jock. And they're all invited to this scholarship dinner. So they go there, and then the door's locked, and there's like a note that says they have an hour or a bomb will go off. So they have to, but if they don't want the bomb to go off, then they need to inject one of the six of them with poison and kill that one person. So it's interesting because this is six characters as well, and then like one of them can't survive, and that was kind of like in Five Survive where there's six of them and they're like, one of you guys have a secret and that person won't survive or all of you will die. So it's interesting how the premises are the same, but the execution and the settings and everything else is very different. So what's cool about this book is you'll have one chapter that's like 59 minutes until the bomb goes off, and then you'll have another chapter that's like a year and a month ago, and then it kind of explores like how this main character Amber's lives was intertwined with the others and some bad things they were doing, and I have no idea who would lock them there or do that. So it doesn't even seem like anyone really has that big of a motive, because everyone they think of is like a high school kid, and it was just like, oh, a little misunderstanding and blah blah blah, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they play off of that and what the reveal is at the end. So yeah, it's Tuesday. It hasn't even been a full week, and I've already finished 2, almost 3 thriller books with the 2 days that I didn't get to read a lot. So this is great. Maybe I'll get to finish 4 books in this video, because like I said at the beginning, I have that other one I got from the library that wasn't on my summer reading list that I still might read because it sounds interesting. So yeah, that's where I am right now. Alright, it's Wednesday now again, which means that it's officially been 1 week since this challenge started, but I think, like I said, I'm going to go until Friday now because I kind of lost 2 days. But yesterday I finished reading All Your Twisted Secrets. I'm kind of conflicted about this book because the main part of it was really, really good. The mystery, the like setup, how they're stuck in a room. But then the plot twist ending, it really felt like it came out of nowhere, how there wasn't any clues, how there wasn't anything like foreshadowed in there. And it just made it feel like it fell flat. So I probably would have rated this book a lot higher if the ending was better, like maybe 4.5 or even 5. But the ending just made it drop down a little bit. Since it was only the ending and it wasn't like terrible, it just wasn't mind-blowing. I think she meant it to be mind-blowing, but it wasn't mind-blowing because there was no setup in there. There were no clues. There was nothing that pointed you in this direction. So I think I'm going to go with 4 stars, but that could change because everything else was so good. So I still want to give it a good score, but just that ending. But right now, I'm reading a book called The Project, just started it, and honestly, I'm not feeling it even right from the beginning, but maybe it's just because I've read so many, like, young adult thrillers that I'm in need of a break. Next, I think I'm going to get some fantasy. I already put a fantasy book on hold at my library, so we'll see about that, but I'm just going to try to read a little bit more of this and see where it goes. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you what this was about in the first place. So I really don't know much. The description says something about a cult or something, but the first like chapter or 2 was told by this one girl, and they're kind of leaving things mysterious, like you don't know a lot, but it's kind of also a little frustrating because 2 sisters are in it, and the first like 2 chapters were told by the one sister, so you assume the 3rd chapter is going to be told by that same sister because it doesn't say the other sister's name at the beginning, which left me really confused until someone called her Lo, which is the other sister's name, and I'm like, oh, that's why it wasn't making sense. It's because the other sister is telling that chapter. So I had to go back and reread the whole chapter, and then it all made sense. But she should have just put her name at the beginning of the chapter, and that kind of frustrated me, but whatever. Okay, I just finished this book. I feel like it's like I just start them and I just finish them, and I don't really give you updates in between, which I'm still getting used to this whole vlogging thing. But basically, I started this book yesterday and I finished it today. And at first, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. It was very confusing in the beginning for me because the author didn't put which sister was telling what thing. But once I got used to that, it got better and I got kind of wrapped up in it. And like the cult and like everything, it was horrible and it was so crazy. And it just like at the end, I couldn't put it down. And I just kept reading and reading, and I think I sat for like an hour and a half. So overall, I'd give it 4 stars. It's not like my favorite book of the video, but actually, I think all the books of the video I've enjoyed. So even this one, which I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy at first. So I guess I'll go to myself wrapping up this video, and she can talk all about the 4 books I read, basically in a week and a day. Okay guys, that's a wrap on my week of reading thrillers. Obviously I read 5 Survive as well, but my mom's reading that right now, so I don't know where she put it. But basically I'm going to put these books in order from the book I liked least to the book I liked most, and just kind of reiterate some things I've said over the video. So the book I liked least, it wasn't bad by any means, it just didn't feel like, you know, as much of a thriller as the other books. So I think I rated it a 3.75 because it wasn't quite a 4, just because it didn't give all that I wanted it to, but it wasn't like quite a 3.5 because I did enjoy it. And This Is Not the Jess Show, so I bet I don't have to restate what it's about because I've been talking about it all video. So after that one, I'm kind of tied. These two are my 2 4 stars of the video. The beginning of the project was very convoluted and it took me a little while to get into it and to start understanding it, but by the end it was really good. But there are no moments in this book that was mind-blowing. Like the whole time you know it's a cult. There was one thing that was supposed to be a plot twist, but it wasn't like a big reveal as much. Well, this book, they kind of did the complete opposite of this book with like no reveals, and the ones that were reveals you're like, yeah, okay, I kind of knew that, or I kind of expected that. This book did something that you would never expect at the end because there was no foreshadowing put in place. I wish the author would put in a few more clues, a few more different things in there to make you kind of pick up on something, and then boom, the reveal. And that way, if you just put in a little bit more clues when it was revealed, it would be like, oh, that makes so much more sense. But the author did not do that. But these books were both very good. And then the one that I recommend so much to everyone, I don't have it because I recommended it to my mom and now she's reading it and she really likes it. It's so funny because she keeps reading it next to me and she keeps saying something and she's like, oh, what about this? What about this? And it's so funny to hear like everything. But 5 Survive, 5 stars. So what did I learn from this? I think I've learned that I really enjoy young adult thrillers. And I enjoy them more than the one adult thriller I read. But I want to read another adult thriller sometime and see if it was just that one or all of them or what. Maybe I can do a video that's like adult thriller versus young adult thriller, and I read like one of each, and I can do this for others as well, like adult fantasy versus young adult fantasy. Yeah, maybe I'll do some videos like that, but thank you for sticking around till now, and I hope you enjoyed, and maybe I'll do another week, a week of reading fantasy, a week of reading whatever, so make sure you stick around, and thanks for watching, bye!